The northtowns now, where this 52-year-old woman, Maria Hastings, is also charged with drunk driving. City of Tonawanda police say she was pulling into a parking space along Main Street when she crashed into another car just after 9 o'clock last night. Police say she blew a BAC of .21. Nobody was hurt in that crash either. A Western New York lawmaker wants the state to take a serious look at Lyme and other tick-borne diseases. State Senator Chris Jacobs is co-sponsoring legislation that would require the state's health commission to report the cost of health insurance coverage for Lyme disease patients. This year's state budget includes $400,000 towards Lyme research, education, and prevention statewide. According to the group Lyme Western New York, there's a lack of public awareness surrounding the disease, and it's often difficult to diagnose.
We hope today that the medical community will acknowledge and hear our voices in suffering. We hope today that the medical community will acknowledge that this disease is real, it's chronic, and it is here in Western New York. And we hope that our hope becomes a reality.
Some 3,200 cases of Lyme disease were reported in New York State in 2015. That's up from more than 2,800 in 2014. May is National Lyme and Tick-Borne Disease Awareness Month. Americans suffering Lou Gehrig's disease will soon have a new drug available for treatment. The maker of the FDA-approved drug says it can slow down a patient's physical decline by more than 30%. This is the first drug approved specifically for the condition in more than 20 years. Lou Gehrig's, or ALS, is a degenerative disease affecting the ability to control muscle movements. More than 15,000 Americans suffer from it, and its cause is still unclear. The new drug is expected to be on the market in August. Now to the mysterious double homicide under investigation in South Boston tonight. It happened at a luxury apartment building there. The victims both found tied up with their throats slashed. A suspect is in custody, but there are still many unanswered questions. We get more now from ABC News.
High atop South Boston's McAllen building, inside a $2 million penthouse, investigators search for clues about a gruesome double murder.
It's just a sad situation to think that it can happen in this building.
Police came to the penthouse after getting a call from a friend of the couple who lives here.
Dorchester Ave, the penthouse, it says he got a message from his friend saying that there's a gunman in the house.
Police say when they opened the door, this man, 30-year-old Bampuman Texera, fired a gun at them. Officers fired back, hit the suspect, and wounded him. Once inside, they found two bodies.
The DA will, probably most likely bring charges for 2 counts of murder here.
Neighbors say the victims have lived in the penthouse for several years. They say access to the building is very secure, especially to that floor.
You can't get up there without a key. Like the elevator wouldn't open the door for you without a key. So there's no access unless someone lets you in.
Detectives have been checking surveillance cameras in the neighborhood. The police commissioner says it does not appear this crime was random.
Someone to come here, go up to the 11th floor to a penthouse, we got to believe that, that somehow there was some type of knowledge of each other here.
Now to a shocking story from the world of winter sports. American bobsledder Steve Holcomb was found dead earlier today at the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid. Holcomb's biggest moment came the 2010 Winter Games in Vancouver. That's when he drove the four-man sled to a win, snapping a 62-year drought for the U.S. Bobsled's signature race. Steve Messler of Buffalo was a part of that gold medal team. The cause of Holcomb's death remains unclear, but officials say there are no immediate signs of foul play. Holcomb was 37 years old. Country singing star Loretta Lynn remains hospitalized after having a stroke. According to her website, the 85-year-old was admitted to the Nashville hospital Thursday night after suffering the stroke at her home in Tennessee. Her publicist says Lynn is responsive and she's expected to make a full recovery. Lynn has had a string of hits starting in the 1960s with her biographical song, Coal Miner's Daughter. Up next on 7 Eyewitness News, a Texas police officer now charged with murdering a teenage boy on duty. Tonight, what the officer's body camera shows. And a consumer alert concerning a popular breakfast food. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News at 11.
You are watching 7 Eyewitness News with Ali Tui, 7 First Alert meteorologist Don Paul, and sports with Nick Filipowski.
Now to a big story out of Texas. A police officer there turning himself in, charged with murdering a 15-year-old while on duty. The officer allegedly fired his rifle at a car full of teenagers, killing the honor student. ABC's Eva Pilgrim picks up the story from there.
Tonight, a Texas police officer facing murder charges for killing a 15-year-old honor student. The officer now out of jail after posting bond.
A charge is great, but it's been 47 years since the state of Texas had a conviction for murder of a law enforcement officer, and so the family's in it for the long haul.
Those charges coming just hours before the family of Jordan Edwards buried the football standout, his 2 brothers witnesses to the shooting.
They're struggling through terrors, they're struggling through anger, they're struggling through disappointment.
Officer Roy Oliver fired after authorities say body camera video showed him firing a rifle into a car full of teens, leaving a large house party last Saturday night. That body camera video dispelling the officer's original story that the teens were aggressively backing up.
There's no way to describe the range of emotions that all of us have felt.
Tonight, ABC News learning Officer Oliver, who served in the Army for 6 years, joined the police force in 2011. In 2013, he was reprimanded after admitting to being angry and aggressive while testifying in court during a DWI case, later required to take anger management training. But in his most recent employee evaluation this past January, supervisors said Officer Oliver exceeded expectations. We have reached out to the officer's attorney. We have not gotten a response. He faces up to life in prison if convicted. Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
The Navy SEAL killed during an operation in Somalia earlier this week has been identified as 38-year-old Kyle Milliken of Maine. Milliken was a member of SEAL Team 6 on a mission targeting a local al-Shabaab leader. He was killed by a small arms fire Thursday. Milliken is the first U.S. service member killed in action in Somalia since the 1993 Black Hawk Down incident. Also in Africa, government officials in Nigeria say more than 80 schoolgirls kidnapped by Boko Haram more than 3 years ago are now free. Negotiations with the Islamic terrorist group resulted in the girls released. They are believed to be from the group